Why your guild is wiping and Scarlet Enclave? Why? Why is benched wiping and Scarlet Enclave? Let's watch this. And then I'll hand in all my quests. Alright? I'm edging you guys a bit.
Scarlet Enclave might just be a waking nightmare. Less than 100 guilds out of over 1,600 are past 5 out of 8. That means you either bring the right DPS or you get stuck looking at Herod's glutes until your GM quits and your entire guild disbands. But don't worry, because Captain Jerome is here to save the day. I've got 3-piece tier 4, half an Ashbringer, and a shovel. That's not important. What is important is I've got a dream and a definitive DPS tier list that's going to save your raid. We're ranking everything based on the realest logs, the sweatiest raid comps, and my own personal trauma as I work towards 8 out of 8. You're going to learn exactly which classes are really blasting, which classes are suffering, and which classes to definitely bring if you want to get over the top in progression. So here is the overall DPS tier list. No boss specifics yet. Now, if you're short on time, this is the time to screen cap and just bail. But I'm not saying to go rush out and make a boomkin or an affliction lock just yet, because you're gonna miss the juicy fight-by-fight meta breakdown. It's really gonna explain why things look like this. So now let's go boss by boss to figure out exactly which classes you actually need to bring for prog, because this raid has more class favoritism than the classic WoW forums in 2005. So starting out with Balnazar, this is a fight that really starts out perfectly for my Ret Paladin. I'm topping the meters, and then boom, it's turning into Illidan and TBC. We have this excruciating ad phase, and it really craters my numbers. The classes that really excel in Balnazar, they fall into 2 different categories. First, it's the classes that can stand still in the beams of light, and they still do massive damage, whether it's to the edge or the boss. Of course, that covers the Boomkins, the Fire Mages, the Affliction Warlocks. Whoever made this fight definitely hates any melee that can cast spells. Probably Zyrene. Yeah, what he said. The other classes that really excel in Balnazar are those melee that can hit every single ad, because they're not getting silenced every 3 seconds. I hate you, Blizzard, I hate you. Fury Warriors are definitely gods on Balnazar, as Hammerdance proved when he out-DPS'd me. As for the classes that are the worst choices for trying to do Balnazar prog, that would be your cast-heavy melees, the Ret Paladins, the Enhanced Shamans. It hurts me to say this as a Ret Paladin right now, but they're all going to want to join your raid, and you're going to have to turn some of them down, because otherwise you're just not going to prog. So join your raid.
Oh.
Scarlet Enclave might just be a waking nightmare. Less than 100 guilds.
Sorry, my plate hit the...
Me to say this as a Ret Paladin right now, but they're all going to want to join your raid, and you're going to have to turn some of them down, because otherwise you're just not going to prog. So Beatrix, waves of ads, you're cleaving them, then the boss comes out, you cleave off the boss as well, so naturally it's really going to be benefiting those classes that can do a lot of AoE damage. The biggest winners, the Ellie Shamans, the Warlocks with their Shadow Bolt Volley, the Mages with the Living Bomb. When they get that 2-piece tier 4 as well, they're just going to skyrocket their AoE damage. As a Ret Paladin enjoyer right now, as a melee enjoyer, this is a fight where you can do extremely well. I've also seen some warriors be very impressive on Beatrix, especially with their cleave. Still, I really hate having to run around and smack ads, and it does kind of feel like range have a very big advantage here. So talking Mason, first of all, highly recommend doing this boss third if you're doing progression, because the other 2 bosses after this are significantly harder. Mason is the truest parse boss in the raid right now, and you get to spam your rotation and actually top the meters. If you're wondering though, how are people actually topping the meters on a boss that goes invulnerable every 25%? Well, there is this cheese strat, where you can pre-grab the cannonballs, reset the boss at 75%.
Isn't that fixed?
You're really going to increase your uptime,
Pretty
up
sure
to
that's
maybe
fixed.
30 extra seconds of uptime. Crazy high uptime means that twisting Ret Paladins can do up to 8,000 DPS, especially since the boss is really never invulnerable anymore. That means your tier 2 4-piece that every Ret Paladin wants, the 30% holy bonus damage, it's really never going to fall off during the fight. It also means warriors get to do chart-topping damage. They're cleaving the boss, they're hitting the scallywags at the same time. Ferals as well really stand out in this fight. They're consistently competing with me on the meters, and with their rake especially, it is just disgusting damage. So talking Beastmaster, which is my current favorite fight in the entire raid, though it has become somewhat of a ranged DPS blasting fight. You could theoretically stack the bosses, cleave them together, and destroy the meters on, say, a Ret Paladin, for example. But because of the Blood Boil mechanic, a lot of groups are splitting up the melee. They're forcing them to hit 1 target at a time, and the range end up kind of carrying the fight.
I think stacking
in
is
that
like
case, the
way
Boomkins
too
are doing
dangerous
10k
right
DPS.
now.
The Shadow Priest multi-dotting get to carry the fight too. And you wouldn't believe it's the first time we've mentioned range hunters, but this is their best fight by far so far, because you can just sit up top and absolutely blast. So next up, we've got Solastraza, which is my second favorite fight in the raid. Even if it does feel suspiciously like a Cataclysm boss with all the priest domes, the giant raid AoE. So Solastraza did just get buffed, one of her big abilities can't be interrupted anymore, and she is definitely the hardest of the first 5 bosses. That means you're going to want to build a raid comp with a ton of Boomkins, Shadow Priests, Red Paladins, Assassination Rogues to take her down. The one class you really want though is Ferals. They are absurdly good for tunneling Solastraza. They can switch to the ads and destroy them, and it works out very well. So really, single target classes in general, they really start to thrive on Solastraza, especially because the new meta, the strategy we just started doing, you only kill one whelp and then you switch back to the boss. In the case of my Red Paladin, it means way more DPS uptime on the boss. It means less worry about missing twists, for example. I can just tunnel and really focus on my rotation. So talking Reborn Council, this is really the first time that I was wondering to myself, is this raid just not built for melee?
That was the first time?
This is the most absurdly unfair fight to do high damage as a melee. You can't cleave the bosses or you die to Herod's Whirlwind. The boss you are hitting randomly teleports around, and when you are actually doing damage, you have to completely lock in on hitting a kick, or your entire raid wipes instantly. In the top 50 parsers for 20 man, there is 1 melee, and only 2 in the top 50 for 40 man. This is a fight where Affliction Locks really thrive. Boomkins, they can cast without even moving from the back wall the entire time. It's disgusting. Shadow Priests as well, of course, they're just destroying multi-dotting.
Quick ad break here. This video is sponsored by Jerome's Guild. Please join Phase 9 if you're a Shadow Priest, an Affliction Warlock, or a Boomkin. We'll also take Ferals.
Phase 9
Literally,
confirmed?
we really need Ferals. But please, God, no more Red Paladins. No more.
Yeah, he doesn't want you to join us on Red so he can take all the Red Paladin loot. Caught.
Frankly, I don't remember signing up for SoD to spam trade chat desperately looking for ranged DPS.
Unbelievable.
But with an enraged timer of 5 minutes and 30 seconds, a DPS check of around 110,000, you're not going to be doing that with any melee. So talking Lily and Voss, rogues finally get to be the kings of a fight, so that's great. See, her attack speed, it increases based on the health of the raid that's missing. Enhanced Shamans, similarly ridiculous on this fight. They can stay on the ignites, they can heal with Ancestral Guidance, and they can finally get off the bench. Other standouts, of course, the Boomkins, the Ferals. Did I mention, by the way, how hard it is to find a Feral last minute if you're playing Alliance? Clearly, they are the most desirable class in Phase 8 by far.
By the way, do you guys think Blizzard actually cleared the raid internally on 20 man? And if they did, do you think they just gave themselves Scarlet Enclave gear? Because I would bet gold they did not get past Council with Nax gear.
Of course they did.
So talking Calderon, barely been killed by anybody,
no way they didn't have good
the guilds
gear.
that are actually killing him, they're pretty much using the same comps they used to kill Council. So lots of Boomkins, lots of Shadow Priests, lots of Warlocks. Those classes are performing extremely well, but also Ellie Shamans and Rogues as well seem to be really standouts as well. Ret Paladins and Fury Warriors as well don't seem very far behind, so theoretically, when I eventually get there, I expect to be doing 9,000 DPS. Right? Right?
No.
So if you're
probably
stuck
with
at
the
5
set
out of 8,
bonus.
and you're still bringing half a dozen Red Paladins, or Enhanced Shamans, or Warriors, I don't know what to tell you. Bring Affliction Locks, bring Boomkins, bring Shadow Priests, bring the meta, or just bring me, because I'll Seal Twist, and I hopefully won't hit the floor every fight. Drop your Warcraft logs, roast my list, and let's suffer together. Then sub if you want a healing or a tank tier list next.
By the way, the raid internally on 20 man.
I want to check Jerome's parses. No hit Jeromer. Is he doing good DPS? No hit Jeromer. I mean, to be fair, on these 2 bosses, it does look like he died. And he only has 1 kill logged on those fights. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Okay. Alright. Good video, guys. Let me go put the plate away, and we'll hand in all these quests and keep leveling here, okay? But I have this entire quest log to hand in. Big XP. Ah. Okay. Check this out, guys. Alright, +2 levels. 1 and 2. Let's see if it's actually worth it to grind mobs here